Do you ever feel like you're trapped in the same old, same old? Life has become so-so. Same old, same old. You want to switch things up, but you don't know how to get started. In this video, I'm going to show you a simple way to just totally blow your mind and switch your perspective about life, the universe, and everything. Hey there folks, I'm Donna Gilbert, and I just like to help people think about life a little bit differently. And if you feel trapped in a so-so existence, same old, this video will help you look at things just a little bit differently and hopefully experience your life a little bit differently. What I want to share with you is the importance of looking at the role you are playing in your life in various situations and invite, encourage, and challenge you to change roles. Here's what I mean. Let's take a look at the very first role you've played in this life, and that's of a child. Whatever your childhood circumstances, you were a child. And then you become an adult, and some of us become parents. And when we become a parent, we have flipped that role. Suddenly, we're responsible for and to someone else. Yikes! And you look at things very differently. When you become a parent, you start to understand why your own parents said you need to go to bed at a certain time, because you can appreciate the value of sleep and rest. You appreciate why your parents told you to brush your teeth every day and harped on you, and it's like, I don't want to do it, and your parents said, brush your teeth. Suddenly you're saying that to your children, and you're saying, but it's because you want to be healthy. As a parent, you know the reasons why. As a child, you don't. You're either doing it because someone told you to, or you're rebelling against it because someone told you to. As a child, you don't understand why necessarily. So you become this parent, and you're telling your child what to do, giving them all sorts of advice. And then what happens? The roles shift again. Your child becomes an adult. And now you have to switch that paradigm again. How you're looking at yourself, how you're looking at your adult child. Because they're no longer the kid that you can tell them what to do and how to do it. They are their own person. And those relationships can be fraught with mysteries and confusion and disparity. They can also be filled with love and kindness and support. And it's an amazing new type of relationship. Another role people play is that of employee. You're told when to show up for work. You show up for work, you do your job. You deal with your coworkers, you deal with your manager, you do your work, you clock out, you go home. Some people, they move into the level of manager. And suddenly as a manager, you're not just showing up when someone told you to show up and doing what someone told you to do and getting along with coworkers and bosses. Now you're having to manage other people, manage processes, make sure things are done. You're at a higher level in the responsibility chain. Doesn't mean you're more valuable, it doesn't mean you're a better person, it just means you've accepted more responsibility. And that changes your perspective of how things are done. Suddenly, now you understand why your manager didn't want you to spend your day on social media rather than doing your work. Suddenly you understand the importance of showing up on time, because you see how when someone is late, it impacts the work of other people. And it keeps spreading out and out and out and out. And you start to see all of these connections because you have a higher view now of what's going on. At the worker view, you can see from here. At the supervisor manager level, you're up here and you can see so much more. You can see to the edges. Isn't this fun, looking at these different roles and how they switch when you switch your focus? So another one is student to teacher. When you're a student, you're sitting there, you're listening, you're absorbing, you may be bored, you may be interested. But when you're the teacher, now you have to think about something beyond just the subject matter. You have this broad knowledge, and suddenly you have to look at your students and say, but what does my student need to know? How can I teach this information so this particular student will understand? Because not everyone learns the same way. Some people are very visual learners, some people like to hear things, some people like to touch and experience things. And you need to be aware of how the people you're teaching learn, to make it fun and interesting, exciting, to not bog them down with facts and details, but give them the big picture. And because you may have many students, you need to cover all of those bases, so it feels daunting and it's like, oh my gosh, how do I do this? Do you see how this is changing your perspective when you look at things from that other role? Can you see how switching that perspective suddenly takes the same old and it adds a different spin to it? It makes it different, right? You have to look at different things, different aspects of it. You have to get out of that rut so that you can look down and say, oh, that's why we do things the way we do them. The final role reversal I want to cover today is content consumer to content creator. As a content consumer, you're scrolling on your phone, on your computer, you're just looking through things, you're making comments, reading interesting articles, you're consuming information. As a content consumer, you are taking in what other people think and how they view the world. Through social media, through news feeds, through the blogs and articles you're reading, through the videos you're watching. All of this content that you're consuming is impacting who you are, how you look at the world, how you build your relationships. And if your relationships and your life and your job, everything feels to be in a rut, that same old pattern. Life is meh, I don't feel interesting, what else is there? Flip that role and start becoming a content creator. And it doesn't have to be a big and fancy thing. You don't have to aspire to monetize social media, a YouTube channel, or build a business. Instead, you can just start to be creative. As a content creator, whether you start a YouTube channel, whether you just post on social media, your favorite platform, this is putting your ideas out there into the world. And you will see a shift in your perspective because you will start to realize how vulnerable you feel putting your ideas out there. It brings up a lot of garbage. What will people think of me? Will they like me? Will they criticize me? Will they say rude things to me that have nothing to do with the content I'm sharing? And when you put yourself out as a content creator, you are exposed to those forceful replies when someone disagrees with you. And it changes your perspective and you start thinking, how can I be nicer to someone else? How can I give them the type of feedback I would like to receive? How can I support someone else? Changing your role, the view that you have of what's going on can impact the way that you are. You will never be the same again because you will have new appreciation for people who are playing the game, the old Monday morning quarterback thing. It's easy to criticize what someone did or what play they called or what action they took on the field. But if you're not playing the game, you are not in the moment. You don't know what's happening in that moment to know why they didn't do something, why they chose a different path. They're right there. They're experiencing it. When you're creating content, it changes the way you view yourself. It changes the way you view the world. It takes a lot of courage and it takes a lighthearted attitude. And you have to be an independent thinker to say, what is it I think? Not just what everyone else is saying. If you want to stand out in the online world, there has to be something unique about you because otherwise it's the same old, right? And it doesn't have to be these big, huge, dramatic changes. It's just being in alignment with who you are. And when you can do that, those people who want to hear from you, who need to hear from you, your message, they're going to perk up and there's going to be something about you. It could just be a spark in your eyes. Are my eyes sparkling? It could just be something about you, your energy, that will make them stop and listen, and you'll be changing their lives. And then, of course, let's talk about how fun it is to be a content creator. Because for someone as an introvert, for most of my life, I've felt unseen, unheard, and unrecognized. This gives me my opportunity to do it my way, to put what I want out into the world, to share messages of encouragement and inspiration. And people in my everyday life, they don't want to hear it. But someone out there, you who are watching this right now, thank you. Thank you for taking a few moments out of your day to listen to this message. And I truly hope that it's life-changing for you. If not today, it may be 6 months, it may be a couple of years from now, you'll remember. I remember seeing this video about someone who said, just shift my role. It could be that really hard day at work when you're railing internally at your manager and saying blah, 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 blah. And you'll say, oh, what's life like in their shoes? Because even our managers at work, they have lives outside of work. They have elderly parents. They have children that are misbehaving or getting in trouble. They have spouses that are cheating. They have money problems. They have all of the crap in their lives that we do. And sometimes it shows up and it comes out in their day. So when you're having a tough day with your boss, perhaps switch the roles and just say, oh, it frees us up to have a little bit more compassion. Doesn't mean we have to like what they're doing, approve of what they're doing, but we can have understanding around it. If you're ready to break free of the same old, that so-so living, just for a day, maybe for a month, maybe for your lifetime, switch up your roles, try something new, and see how that changes things for you. Let me know in the comments how you're going to use this idea.